Hi everyone, welcome to Tom's Manshed. Very quick video this. A friend, Steve, recently told me his PC, which is an out-of-the-arc PC anyway, running Windows 7 DDR2, 150 gig spinny disk hard drive, that's all he's got in the whole machine. So it just shows you, he uses it for nothing else other than surfing the net, watching the very odd YouTube video, typing the odd letter. That is it. So 150 gig is ample for him. That was only half full anyway. But I told him an SSD would speed it up immeasurably, and to think about getting a Windows 10 machine, because support for Windows 7 will be finishing in January next year, which is only 6 months off. And but for now we just stuck a Samsung SSD in there. So while I had it, before I put it in his machine, I did a test on my speed test on Crystal DISKMARK, and a few other SSDs I could lay my hands on from around the house, and 4 old spinny disk type hard drives. So it's just a quick run through comparing the speeds of old and new, and showing you the results I got. So let's have a look at them now. Okay, so this is my Samsung 860 Evo SSD that I use. I put all my videos and pictures on this for when I'm making these videos for YouTube. So I store them on this drive and I render to this drive from Adobe Premiere, because it's a fast drive, and then once I've done with all the videos and pictures, I then delete them, leaving it fresh for the next video. So that's the main thing I use this drive for. It's pretty quick, as you can see, 559 and 505 at the top. One of the fastest SSDs along the top 3 there, and the usual sort of figures you'll get. Running on SATA 3, of course. Right, over to this. This is the one I got for my mate Steve. SanDisk 250 gig, 240 gig. Similar speeds to the Samsung on the top row, but the second row, it's running at only half the read and write speeds on the 4K stuff. So you can see the Samsung is the better disk. It ran, this is on obviously my SATA 3 machine. When it was connected to Steve's old antique SATA 2 machine, it ran at half that speed. I forgot to take a snapshot of the results, but it was down to something like 250 instead of 558. I told him that would be the case. You're only going to get 300 megabits per second out of a SATA 2 motherboard, so he would have to update to a later motherboard and later system and everything, which hopefully he will do to get the full speed. Now this is about a 5-year-old OZ Arc 100 SSD that I use for me C drive on the white PC that you see behind me when I'm doing the head-to-head shots in the videos, and pretty similar at the top row, as you'll see, to the other two. But if you look at the second row down, 307 and 327, yeah, as you can see there, the top row is pretty similar, a bit down on the others. But the bottom one, look at that, the second one, better than the Samsung. The 5-year-old one's 307, Samsung's 257. And on the write speed, it's way better, 327 to 231, and the SanDisk was only 107 write speed, so it's 3 times quicker than the SanDisk. This is a 5-year-old SSD, so pretty good. So if you can pick up one of them for next to nothing, it'd be a good buy. Next one, this is even older. This is about 7 years old, and again, the top read speed is very similar. The write speed, though, as you see, is only 137. That's way down on the others. Yeah, now 137. As we go down a row, again, lower, much lower than the OCZ, and a bit on par with the SanDisk. Oops. And yeah, the lowest of all the conventional SSDs. Now this is my system disk. It's an M2 drive, so like a slither of chewing gum, that small. Nvme Samsung 970 Evo Plus. That was when I got it 3 months ago, 112 quid for the 500 gig version. So still there, coming down all the time. But as you see, the speed, 7 times an SSD. That's the top row. The other rows, though, are about on par and actually lower than the old OZ Arc. So on the 4K line, now I don't know what all these tables are, the 4Ks and the Qs and everything. Don't exactly know what it means, but when you're using them just as a comparison, that's fair enough. You're just comparing like with like. But the very bottom row is the fastest of the bunch, similar to the on the read speed of the normal 2.5-inch one. But now these are the 4 spinny disc type ones. Now this one here, the Western Digital Blue, this was a new one I got about 3 months ago, just for the new build, but just as a storage disc. This is 2 terabytes, and you can see the speeds. Nothing like as good as the SSDs, obviously, particularly when you get down to like rows 2, 3, and 4. They're all like 1 point something and way, way, way down. So it just shows how slow these discs are. But the top one there, 136, 133. Oops, pull that back. Is typical for a hard drive. Now this is about a 7-year-old Western Digital Black spinny disc. Now these were touted as the disc to get if you're a games player. Store your games on this and play your games on this, and it's blindingly fast, way better than any other. But as you can see, it ain't that much faster. It's like 162 and 152 as opposed to 136 and 133, and all the other ones are still all below 2. 1.029, 1.4. It's slower there than much slower than the newer blue one on everything apart from the top line. And then the green, this is about the same age, just from the same machine. Again, hardly any difference. Look, 162 and 157. These were both bought at the same time for the same machine, about say 7 years ago. And I use them now just for, again, just as storage, non-important stuff, just holding videos temporarily and pictures and things. And yeah, you can see how really slow they are. And then finally we've got this, the Seagate Barracuda. Again, old spinny disc. This used to be on the white computer the system disk, being only 500 gigs before I put the OCZ ARC in there. And yeah, and that's when that SSDs were quite dear 5 years ago, that OZ ARC, but obviously was a good buy looking at the figures. But yeah, this is the slowest of all of the old technology spinny disc ones. So yeah, just pointing out how quick again the OZ ARC ones are compared to those. So yeah, that's about it you'll see, no surprise, all the SSDs are slower. All the spinny disk ones are slower than the SSDs, but a couple of surprises in that OZ Arc particularly. Okay, so there you have it. No mega surprises. I was surprised that the Nvme drive was only that. I knew it would be that quick, blindingly quick on the top row on Crystal DISKMARK, but the other speeds not that far ahead of just normal SSDs. And the OCZ, the 5-year-old one, surprised me. It was ahead of the Samsung in some respects, in some of the figures. But no surprise that all 4 spinny disk type ones were a lot slower. But again, the black, the Western Digital black, which was always plugged as a really fast top of the range games playing hard drive, isn't that much faster than any other spinny disk hard drive. So there you have it. Hope the results were of some interest to you. Don't know what I'll be reviewing or unboxing next, but stay tuned. By all means, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to, and I'll catch you for another review as soon as I can. Bye for now.